Today, more revelations about the deep state. We know that General Michael Powell was set up even further by the FBI, an entrapment. We know that the Attorney General, one of the few things that he's doing is actually looking into that because of the pressure that's been put on by the public. Otherwise, he's doing absolutely nothing. And that's the segue into what we're doing. And I keep repeating this because we need your support with our citizens class action against the Chinese. We've served the complaint. We had it translated into Chinese. It's going to the foreign ministry. It's going to the lab in Wuhan, China. It's been sent out by the clerk of the court in Dallas, Texas, by Federal Express. This thing's getting rolling. We are serious about holding the Chinese accountable for all the damage they have done to our country and to our taxpayers. And it's particularly important, and this is why I say the president really has to shape up or ship out right now, because most people have not gotten their payroll protection checks so they can be paid while they're unemployed. We have a tremendous unemployment roll. The president's in charge, and I don't frankly know what he's doing. This is constructive criticism, but I'll tell you something. If the Democrats put Michelle Obama on the ticket, now Hillary Clinton wants to be on the ticket, Joe Biden is out of sight. That's good for him right now because we can't see him doing his coloring books. I mean, he's obviously going kind of mad. He's got dementia, onset of Alzheimer's in all likelihood, is that there's a real chance of this president losing. And as I've said before, when you're the person in power, you're the person who gets blamed. So the president really better wake up right now because this coronavirus is going to be continuing well into the campaign season and also into the election in November. In fact, just today, the governor of California is going to issue another one of his dictatorial orders that people can't go to the beach or state parks. People are getting very, very upset. Who gets blamed for that? Not just the governor of California, but the president of the United States. And that's why these cases are important, because they're complementary. The Justice Department is doing nothing. They're just sitting there. Oh, we might support people that file cases. But it's Freedom Watch and Larry Klayman who are filing the cases, the class action in Dallas, Texas, our similar class action in Jerusalem, Israel, our criminal complaint at The Hague. Go to freedomwatchusa.org, sign up as class action plaintiffs, and also support those cases with tax-deductible contributions. It's very expensive. We're small. We're not big, but we have to get bigger to be able to handle this. And we're the most courageous out there. And the reason we are is because of you, because you are the superheroes. That's why I say join our Justice League. You, the American people, understand what's going on. There's no one in Washington that you can totally trust. I don't care who it is, not even the president of the United States, because he gets diverted. He's dealing with impeachments. He's dealing with witch hunts. He's dealing with all kinds of other things. He's not served well by the people that work under him, by and large, like Attorney General William Barr. He means well, but unfortunately, things aren't going well. And that's why we, the American people, need to rise up. And we need to start calling the spade a spade. I'm tired. I turned on Hannity last night. It's the same show over and over again. It's been the same show now for about 10 years. It just changes slightly each night. Same monologue, same major breaking news, same guests who do nothing. Sidney Powell's an exception. I commend her for what she did with regard to General Flynn. But I'll tell you something. The other ones, they just take up space every single night. And this is why you, the American people, need to rise up. It's not enough to watch Hannity or to watch Tucker Carlson or to watch anybody on Fox. That doesn't do anything. It does nothing. Zero, nada, zilch. You need to rise up. And you need to take matters into your own legal and peaceful hands, just like our founding fathers did in 1776. And when it didn't look like they could solve it peacefully, they did it otherwise. I'm trying to prevent that. Jefferson predicted it would happen. I'm afraid we're headed in that direction, but let's hope that it does not happen. And I'm trying not to have it happen because we need to use the courts. And just yesterday, and I want you to listen to my radio show this week, which is on Sunday on about 50 stations. And you also can find it on freedomwatchusa.org as podcast, at radioamerica.com, on Spotify, on iTunes, on Roku, on Amazon Fire, on Facebook, and on Twitter. I'll be talking with Sheriff Joe Arpaio. a judge who I generally like in Washington, D.C., who's made a lot of good rulings over the years, never went the distance, never held the Clintons accountable, but he did more than anyone else. Judge Royce Lamberth, again, dismissed in a very dishonest way a defamation case that was brought by Sheriff Joe Arpaio against the Rolling Stone and Huffington Post magazine. They called him a convicted felon when he was only found liable for a misdemeanor. He's not a felon. He was just simply trying to enforce the immigration laws with day workers. And it was his deputies that did it, not him, that visited those sites and made arrests. Frankly, there was nothing wrong with that. He does have authority. But by some very politicized judges, he was found to have been in contempt, but only a misdemeanor. Now, there's another judge out there that said if you call someone a convicted felon, if in fact it's just a misdemeanor, that can be defamation. Well, Lamberth sat on this case that we originally filed for quite a long period of time. The other side, which included CNN at the time, said, we needed to plead things more specifically. I told Lamberth, I said, we can amend our complaint. If you want more specificity, that there was actual malice, I can do that. But Lamberth went ahead and dismissed it anyway, while admitting that the statements were false, that my client was not a convicted felon, and also while admitting that this did damage. Now, why did he do that? Because all these federal judges are politicized. To have Sheriff Arpaio in your courtroom is radioactive. Lamberth wanted to make a strong decision in another case. I won't get into that here. So he couches things to make it look like he's magnanimous towards everyone. And that's typical of the politicization on the bench, on the federal bench. And they feel that they're above the law. So I filed another complaint, and he dismissed it again. And I'm going to get into that in our show on Sunday. But this is the problem that we have with the federal judiciary. They're politicians in robes. They don't protect us from the other two branches of government and tyranny among our own people. And it's why I do what I do. But I'm hopeful that we get a really good judge in Dallas, Texas, because you see, this concerns everybody. It's not a political case. Everybody's being damaged by this coronavirus severely. And again, we're not even getting the money from the government to pay for the unemployment and the loss of jobs and the loss of businesses. So it's a really serious situation. And that's why you need to go to freedomwatchusa.org and support these cases and contribute with tax-deductible contributions so we can hire lawyers to represent the thousands of plaintiffs that we have. Until tomorrow, with another special podcast and with our radio show this weekend, God bless you. God bless your family. Stay safe, and God save America. Thank you for listening to me.